We are here today in Mexico, beautiful cenote, to talk to you about the newest side mount system from AKUANA, which is called the Humming bird. One of the first features of the new Humming bird is that we opted for a continuous webbing from the side to the plate in a V shape to a tri-glide all the way to the other shoulder. This creates more stability and avoid any weak and failure points. Another feature is that we separated the dorsal strap from the crotch strap to make it easier to adjust for most divers. Also, it's a very simple system. We opted to just use tri-glides and makes it very fast also on the dive side to adjust. Also, if you want to change from a wetsuit to a dry suit, you can very quickly adjust your system without having to move the whole thing. So you see here on the shoulders we choose to put low profile D-rings, which are much better because being low profile there is least risk of entanglement on a line or also in the features of a cave or a wreck where these large O-rings can easily get entangled. So decided to put low profile D-rings here on the waist, on the belt, simply because it is keeping the tanks closer to your body. Now we have two connection points in case you dive aluminum cylinders so that you can change and move it forwards to keep it nice and streamlined when they start to lose weight because of the gas consumption. If you have steel cylinders, you don't have that problem. You can leave it on the first position all the time. You can even get rid of the second D-ring if it is in your way. On the other side, we decided to put a very simple buckle, which is simply as possible low profile buckle to avoid any entanglement on the line. The classic buckles are too bulky and they're really a high risk of entanglement and breaking a line in case you're diving in a wreck or you're diving in a cave. Also, it makes it very easy to tight, and you can actually tighten during the dive if it is necessary. Here on the back also you see that we put two drop attachment points, which makes it easy to attach a pouch on the back if you decide to attach a pouch. Many side mount divers, me included, also use the drop attachment point to crisscross leashes in case you use a stage. So you can place a stage on both sides very easily. Also, we added a tri-glide there in case you want to adjust your bungees. There is many different ways of attaching bungees, and the Hummingbird allows all the possible ways. You see that in this case we choose to show with a loop bungee here, which is a common system we use here in Mexico for the tri-glides, which avoids so that bungee to move up and down, and it comes attached to the newest piece we have here, which allows for two simple knots on the back, and it has also a second beautiful feature we're going to talk about later. Another way to put the bungee, continuous bungee with two simple clips, and you see that it is very easy to adjust, clipping on one side of the low profile D-ring. We pass it through that loop that we created especially so that the bungee, as you can see, is free to move one or the other side. It's not stuck and it will not worn out too fast. So two solutions, loop bungees, continuous bungees, free for the users to choose. That central piece, which is a new feature on the system, we have the two holes to place the loop bungee, but also on the reverse side we have a thread where we can connect directly the wing for large diver. This is, for example, my setup, which I need to have the wing in the shape of a diamond a little bit lower so that it lifts my lower body up. But short diver can attach this wing directly to this new piece with a simple screw, and it's also very fast, so that you see you have several attachment points, and this piece of course is flexible, so you can pretty much attach the wing in any position on your back, which makes it very versatile, very easy to switch very quickly on the dive site. The lower part of the wing is also attached to the newest piece. This has been created especially for that new system. You see that the bungee, just with a triple knot with a shock cord on that side, will be attached to that new piece through a simple hole under the webbing here. Very simple. And now we have another knot on this side. Why is it important to have a bungee here and not to be directly attached there? It's because when you're gonna inflate the wing, if you don't have a mobile place here, that's gonna damage the wing. This allows the wing to lift up just slightly, so 1 or 2 centimeters, so that the wing doesn't put too much pressure on the harness, and at its turn will not be damaged when you inflate it very much. Also, this newest piece has the place to put a low profile D-ring, and we also have added these two little square ears where you can add more items so that you don't have everything attached to the D-ring. As you well know, it is very annoying to have 4, 5, 6 different double enders there, so you can now compart it a little bit better, and you can really have the choice for the divers to put the items where he exactly wants and not everything on the same place. Now the crotch strap itself is also separated from the dorsal strap, and that's also so that you can move these metal piece up and down along the body of the divers, so that you can have the most possible distance on your cylinders and have the tank bands very high or very low, the way you choose. For example, my wife and myself have a very different shape, but we can use the same cylinders and we can exchange cylinders because we keep the same distance between the D-ring and the side D-ring, meaning that my harness is on my belt, but her harness is way lower on the hips, but we have the same distance, therefore we can easily exchange cylinders during a dive if it's necessary, which makes it for an excellent safety feature for cave divers. The wing itself, it's a diamond shape, which is the best shape to have a central here. If you draw across, you're gonna have the wing, the lifting right here in the middle, which is really good for your trim because it lifts the lower part of your body. Also, the material is the newest material and it is uncuttable. You cannot break that material. We have tested it. We can see a few videos we posted already that you cannot even cut it with a cutter. So which makes it very, very durable for cave divers. Of course, you can also take off the sash if you want to have either a slimmer profile, and the beauty that you can also choose the color you want, so you can also personalize the wing the way you want. We have all range of colors, bluish, pinkish. This is really, really cool also that you can have something a little bit personal and not always all black. Another feature is to see, you have an inflator hose here with an inflator that has a 90-degree angle, which makes it low profile and avoid a failure point in low situations like in a cave restriction or in a wrack. So this is pretty much unbreakable. Also, it is very easy to open and close, as you can see, and it is very easy to exchange the size and to move the inflator from the right to the left side because they are exactly at the same position. This is, for example, for me, a dry suit setup. So by crossing the inflator over, I can attach the low pressure inflator from the wing on a right side cylinder, and I have my primary inflation from the dry suit coming from the left cylinder, because in side mount the right cylinder is the one we push, is the one we eventually donate, so we don't want to lose dry suit inflation, which is a priority. That's why this is the dry suit setup, but if you dive it in a wetsuit configuration, it is extremely fast just to move and reverse these two valves. Now, of course, talk about weights. We need several kind of weights. Of course, it is very easy to adjust any pouch here on a harness and on a crotch strap. So there are several systems with bungees. There are several systems. We also have a complete weight system that we can add on the system, and we're gonna post a few videos in the future to show you exactly the features, how we put weights on, if you're in a wetsuit, if you're in a dry suit, and how to trim you perfectly with our weight system, but that's gonna come in a future video. Alright, so those are the main features from the new Humming bird. We suggest you try it out, and yeah, you're gonna love it.